Thurber House's never-ending pursuit of celebrating humor continues with New York Times best-selling author and Thurber Prize semi-finalist from way back when for her hilarious novel. You were a semi-finalist.
No, I was a judge.
But you don't know that you were a semi-finalist.
I don't know.
Back then, we only announced the 3 finalists, but you were actually a semi-finalist. So that might be new. You made the cut out of like 70 books to.
Ooh, yeah. I love it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you were semi-finalist. So, okay, yeah, that's new information for you.
For my diaries?
Yes, for your diary. Thurber House's never-ending pursuit of celebrating humor continues with New York Times bestselling author and Thurber Prize semi-finalist from way back when for her hilarious novel, American Housewife, Helen Ellis, who, by the way, has a new book, Bring Your Baggage and Don't Pack Light. So, okay, let's do this. The Thurber 13. Number 1, what is your favorite word?
Pickles. Do I say why it's my favorite word? You can't really teach funny, but you can. And I learned way back when that words with a K in them are funny. Pickles is the best example. And so that's my favorite word because I always think, is it as funny as pickles?
What is your least favorite word?
Nothing. That's the word, nothing. I don't know why that came to mind. I'm glad I had no preparation for this because that's the word that came to mind, nothing. The word nothing.
Name one thing on your bucket list.
I'd like to play the World Series of Poker main event. And boy, I miss the World Series of Poker in the quarantine. Usually it's 10,000 people in the Rio Hotel, which is also the place you could catch Legionnaire's disease a few years ago. And I really miss the contact of strangers and testosterone. So I would like to go back and play IRL at the World Series of Poker.
All right. Favorite book you read as a kid?
Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And in the new book, I write a piece called, Are You There, Menopause? It's Me, Helen.
Amen to that.
It's sort of my tribute to Judy Blume because, we were all waiting for our Aunt Flo to visit, and now we're all waiting for our Aunt Flo to go. So I loved Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, because it was sort of part user's manual and part coming of age book.
Excellent example, yes. Okay, so what sound do you love?
This is so, what's the word I'm looking for? Cliche, but my favorite sound is the rippling of poker chips. It sounds like crickets. And when you're in a big room, this is again what I'm missing so much being in the quarantine, it just sounds like a field of crickets to hear those chips ruffle.
What smell do you hate?
Cat pee.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Who is your favorite humorist?
My favorite humorist, hands down, is David Sedaris.
Yes.
And I have always loved David Sedaris and make my husband read me David Sedaris in bed. So whenever a new book comes out, he reads me the book or reads a New Yorker column. And I love David Sedaris because he does not hold back. He's honest and funny and kind, which is really the motto that I use when I write.
That is excellent. He is also a Thurber Prize winner from way
I think so.
Okay, so if you were sent to a deserted island, what is one thing that you could not live without?
Matches. Does anybody say anything other than that? Sunscreen, but matches.
That is way too practical for my head too. Okay, so what folly of humanity do you find the funniest?
Right now, everything goes back to the quarantine. Right now, I think it's disobeying the rules because I live in New York City, and so I'm out on the street constantly, and I'm fascinated by how people wear their mask, whether they wear it down below the nose or up above the mouth or slung around the chin like a chin strap or, of course, put around the wrist like a corsage. Yep. I'm fascinated by how people think they're following the rules, but really are not following the rules.
All right. Keep in mind, Thurber is listening.
Oh, there he is.
Cats or dogs?
Cats. I'm
Oh.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Cats are, as we said before, cats are self-cleaning and they sleep 18 hours a day.
I am with you, and I'm haunted daily by that fact that I love cats too. Okay, are you a Thurber fan?
Of course.
Okay, so what's your favorite Thurber story?
Oh God,
Or
I
do
can't.
you have a favorite Thurber story?
I can't.
Or
Let me
what
tell
do
you
you
my
like about
favorite
his
Thurber.
work?
Let me tell you about my favorite. Well, my favorite Thurber story is a real life story because I came to the Thurber house. First was asked, do I want to stay in the haunted Thurber house, which I could not say no to fast enough. So I do not enjoy a ghost. And then you and I were walking over to the auditorium where we were going to read from my book, Southern Lady Code. And I said, now, as I say to every host, you know, what would you like me to read? You know your audience best. What do you think? And you said, oh, read anything, you know, anything shocking. And I said, how about the story about when I smoked pot? And you're like, that's perfect. They'll love it. And that's my favorite story, is reading to a very sort of mature audience about me lighting up on the Upper East Side.
And they loved every minute of it.
Yes.
What is your Walter Mittiest fantasy?
I would like to work in a wax museum and be solely in charge of the eyes. I saw a special on this. All you do is make the eyes and make the eyelashes, and I would just like to be surrounded by eyeballs and eyelashes and fit those into the sockets. Does that count?
I don't think we'll have a better answer than that. I don't think we'll find a better answer.
I'm sure some people would like to be invisible or fly, but my mind goes to eyeballs.
Eyeballs. Fair enough. Last question. If comedy heaven exists, who do you want to greet you at the door?
Joan Rivers.
Nice.
That's what I want. I want Joan Rivers to greet me at the door in like a fabulous, you know, boa straight out of the 60s, 7 Faces Ago. with all her jewelry, you know, and I'd like a nice like entrance faux cocktail ring from her line. I would love to have dinner in heaven with Joan Rivers.